Charles Darwin quotes, "A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life." The love for all living creatures is the most noble attribute of man. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change. It is always advisable to perceive clearly our ignorance. The highest possible stage in moral culture is when we recognize that we ought to control our thoughts. A man's friendships are one of the best measures of his worth. Intelligence is based on how efficient a species become at doing the things they need to survive. We are always slow in admitting a great change of which we do not see the intermediate steps. An American monkey, after getting drunk on brandy, would never touch it again, and thus is much wiser than most men. Nothing can be more improving to a young naturalist than a journey in a distant country. The more we know the immutable laws of nature, the more incredible miracles become for us. To kill an error is as good a service as, and sometimes even better, than the establishing of a new truth or fact. A scientific man ought to have no wishes, no affections, a mere heart of stone. Animals, whom we have made our slaves, we do not like to consider our equal. If everyone were cast in the same mold, there would be no such thing as beauty. Man tends to increase at a greater rate than his means of subsistence. One general law leading to the advancement of all organic beings, namely multiply, vary, let the strongest leave, and weakest die. As for a future life, every man must judge for himself between conflicting vague probabilities. We stopped looking for monsters under our bed when we realized that they were inside us. Man selects only for his own good, nature only for that of the being which he tends. Blushing is the most peculiar and most human of all expressions. If the misery of our poor be caused not by the laws of nature, but by our institutions, great is our sin. The question of whether there exists a creator and ruler of the universe has been answered in the affirmative by some of the highest intellects that have ever existed. There is nothing more unbearable than idleness. For the shield may be as important for victory as the sword or spear. Women always deny sex to men who show weakness. A woman, first of all, must be confident in the strength of her man. How paramount the future is to the present when one is surrounded by children. Sexual selection will also be largely dominated by natural selection, tending towards the general welfare of the species. The very essence of instinct is that it's followed independently of reason. Man in his arrogance thinks himself a great work worthy the interposition of a deity, more humble, and I believe truer, to consider him created from animals. Marrying is not at all difficult. It is difficult to be married. The power to charm the female has sometimes been more important than the power to conquer other males in battle. Wherever the European had trod, death seemed to pursue the Aboriginal. If it wasn't for seasickness, all the world would be sailors.